Hustle strategy.
Bootstrap growth on margin scales.
Execution.
If they put you out of business, you'll have a lot more leverage.
Vertical stakeholder infrastructure.
Stocks.
Bonds.
Shorts.
Shorts.
Monetize anything that breathes.
I have become so physically hot that I will boil the ocean.
Collateral.
Welcome back to Collateral. I'm Seth T.
And I'm Wyatt Matthews. Seth, you are looking just a little different today. I feel like a little bigger, a little hairier. I don't know. What's going on?
Yeah, I've been taking some supplements that actually improve every single attribute about myself. So I have more hair. It actually made me taller, more muscular,
Yep.
and just enhanced every single attribute of my body. So I actually am feeling a lot better. I've
Yep.
gained some weight in all the right places. So yeah, if you've noticed a change or if anybody has seen me on the street, that's why I've been taking some supplements that, improve me.
I mean, you're taking
That way.
up just about, I don't know, a large portion of the room now. I mean, before
Yeah.
it was kind of like, if you were in there, it was like, oh, you could fit like, 10 to 15 other Seths in this room. But now it's like, we're capping out around 5 or 6.
Yeah, we're down to around 5 Seths in one room. I occupy a lot of space now. There is one downside to this, to the supplements. It makes my skin incredibly greasy. So I kind of like slither around like against the walls because I occupy so much space.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of like sticking to the walls because my skin kind of melts into just the paint.
Yep.
So there are downsides to these supplements that I'm taking, but the doctors say in the long run it'll actually be beneficial, and everybody will be taking these supplements at some point. It's the next step in human evolution.
Yeah, what are these called again?
These are actually called the coal mine supplements. They are they're named after where they're found. They are typically found in coal mines, alongside the coal in the coal mines. They're actually they actually grow from a rock deep underground. It's called the
Coal?
smelter. No, it's called smelter.
Oh.
It's a smelter rock, and it's actually they harvest the smelter rock, which is typically found alongside coal,
Right.
and they kind of just shave off the top layers of this rock, and they form it into like a little pill. And you take these pills, and you grow, you get hairier, but you also get a lot greasier. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, there are some downsides.
And you get
but
a lot more mad. I mean, you've just been furious. I've just been seeing, you walk down in the street in the city and you're just punching mailboxes, punching people.
Yeah, it does happen to affect your mood, very minorly though. So I haven't been quite myself, as of late, because of these substances. So if you have seen me, punching mailboxes on the street, hitting cars and all that, lifting trash cans over my head, just try to steer clear. I mean, it's nothing to worry about, but just try to avoid me for the time being. At least until these supplements, run their course and I become the ultimate, image of male physique,
I mean, they are called
which should be in the next couple of years.
the American ogre. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
you're just basically going around a very huge, hairy man just hitting things and yeah. Anyway, today we kind of wanted to talk about something very like near and dear to most people's hearts. I don't know how near and dear it is to you or me, but
I mean,
family.
everyone's experienced something
Yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Family.
Family.
Yeah. What do we think about family?
Well, family is it's been a part of the world forever.
Yeah.
And
Some
some
would say
people
since the dawn of man.
since the dawn of man and woman, because
Right.
I mean, we're not gonna get too technical, but
No. That's for another episode.
that is
Getting technical.
that is true. But family, one of the things about family is that it's kind of like a team. It's kind of like every family is a team competing against every other family.
It really just dumbs down to a competition with others. That's what everything's about
Mhm.
with family. You compete against other families. There are point systems.
Yep.
There are rewards for the best family. So it really just dumbs down to primal competition
We
with
had
other people.
we used to have block parties when I was a kid in my neighborhood, and
Mm-hmm.
there was always this pie baking competition that
Mm.
my mother would take extremely seriously, and to the point where she was basically fighting the other competitors just to steal their ingredients, unplug their appliances, and bash those things up. And until she was the only one who showed up with a pie and won by default every year.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do to get those points. It really just dumbs down to a game of life and death.
Yeah,
That's really just what it dumbs down. Like, if you don't make the best pie, you and your whole family are getting killed.
exactly. That was one of the other things is that if you didn't make the top three, let's just say you weren't competing next year.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's primal. It's been here since the dawn of man. Competition with other families. There were tribes that would kill other families. Cavemen
Hmm.
going around the world killing other cavemen with their families. So it really just dumbs down to primal competition and who can be the strongest, hairiest, and most muscular family.
Well, that pretty much does it for family, I think. Um, Seth, have you ever had like a I know I talked about dreams in the last episode. Have you ever had a night terror?
Yeah, I've had quite a number of night terrors.
Really?
Yeah,
And have
I
you?
often I often find myself convulsing in my bed, shaking, my feet, stretched out, toes curled, arms, over my head, just shaking and convulsing and sweating. Um, and I don't quite remember what I was dreaming about or
Mhm.
terroring about, but it was there are glimpses of memory, glimpses of faces and objects and places that I can't quite pinpoint. So I often find myself, um, you know, eyes rolled back, convulsing,
Mhm.
black sludge slipping out of my mouth.
Yeah, the
Um,
black sludge was interesting because
yeah, I
uh,
mean, we had a sleepover one night, and I
well, I
had,
wouldn't. Okay, that's a little. I wouldn't call it that. We
well,
were
it
on
was
a
a sleepover.
business trip together.
Sure, a business trip, whatever you want to call it.
All right.
We were sleeping in the same area,
Yes, we were staying in the
separate
same
beds, of
room.
course.
Uh-huh. And I'm, peacefully sleeping, having, wonderful dreams of hot dog stands or whatever. And
THC and all that and
and
such.
you kind of uh well, you like you bolt right up in bed, and
hmm
there's this black sludge just oozing from from your mouth, from your ears, from every
hmm
pore in your body,
Yeah,
and you just go ah, ah, you're like panting like a zombie, and
yeah.
you kept saying these few words over and over again. The mackerel,
The
the
mm.
mackerel.
Oddly enough, that doesn't ring a bell. Like I have no idea what a mackerel is. I haven't heard of that word before.
Well, no, it was the
Um,
mackerel.
oh, the mat creel,
The mackerel.
the mackerel,
The mackerel.
the mackerel.
The creel of the ma.
Okay, huh?
What the hell is that?
I have no clue. I mean, I couldn't tell you.
You
I was
wouldn't stop
dreaming.
saying that.
The mackerel.
The mackerel. The mackerel.
Okay, all while black sludge was. I mean, I remember waking up in that moment.
Yeah.
Well, not exactly at that moment, but once I stopped oozing this black sludge,
Hmm.
ools of it. Um, I remember waking up and I just see you with a fire extinguisher just at the ready,
Yep.
just kind of like aimed at me.
I wasn't sure how
Uh,
flammable this sludge was. I mean, anything could have happened.
yeah, I mean it was warm and it was kind of steaming
Hmm.
as black sludge does. So I woke up in a panic because I see my business associate Wyatt Matthews just aiming a fire extinguisher at me. What other reaction do you have than just to be a little afraid?
Hmm.
So I kind of just like, once you saw that I came to, you were just in shock.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how do we clean this up? I mean, you were worried about the
I mean,
mess
I wasn't
because,
really.
like,
I knew we had room service. I mean, they weren't. They operate 24/7.
that's true. But I mean, you gotta, like, I mean, you can't just, you gotta pay for this mess. This is a hazard. You can't
Well,
just let them just walk in on this. It
that's
was that bad.
that's kind of what we ended up doing, though. I mean, it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, we had a conference in the morning. We couldn't
yeah, we
really.
didn't have. I mean, you said though that the black sludge was honestly a lot, very comfortable to go back to bed in because of how warm it was.
It kind of solidifies into like not necessarily a marshmallow, but into like some sort of slime
So there's like a
that it
black
doesn't necessarily,
sludge mold
yeah,
of your body
it
in the
doesn't like
bed.
stick to you. It
Hmm.
kind of just like, it's like laying on a soft pillow that's just a little sticky, but it doesn't stay on you. So it was quite comfortable to get into, a comfortable position. But when I woke up again, for the conference, it's solidified like completely. It was like rock solid.
Mm.
But it was completely weightless.
Yeah.
It was like a 6 foot long, 3 foot wide, just brick of just sludge, solid sludge that was completely weightless. So that was quite surreal,
Yeah, definitely. I
and
mean,
that it was really easy to clean up
yeah,
too. So we saved the
save
we
the room
saved the
service.
trouble for the room
Probably a
service.
day of work. But let
Mm-hmm.
me
Mm-hmm.
say, I mean, at the conference, you your mind was more clear than it had ever been before.
Yeah.
I mean, we
I'm
had high expectations for how we were gonna do, but oh my God, it was like you were a business machine after
Yeah,
that.
we got a lot of stocks,
A lot of investments.
a lot of investors, a lot of people came up to us afterwards and they're like, "Wow, I I'm dumbfounded. I've never heard such a good presentation done before at a business conference."
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say because I didn't even know exactly what happened. That I was so clear headed. So I just said thank you and moved on.
I mean, we
And
hadn't even practiced, and we
no, we
knocked
had
it
no
out
idea
of
what
the
we were going to
park.
talk about. Yeah, we didn't even know what kind of conference it was. We just like
We just heard it was
we
a
were like, oh, there's a
conference.
conference in town. We signed up for it, and we were like, okay, let's
Bought
just
a
do this. So we
hotel
went
and
over
went
to
there. Yeah,
yeah, we went to Chicago, and yeah,
and it
we
worked out.
nailed this
It
conference.
did, and pretty much every conference we go to after that, we try to make sure at least one of us has a night terror of the
Yeah,
sludge kind.
yeah. Yours look a little different though.
Yeah.
Yours are more peaceful, but
Hmm.
still quite horrifying.
Mine are a lot more filled with. I mean, you say very few words. Mine are
Hmm.
like kind of like entire sagas and odysseys in one
Yeah,
night.
you recite ancient literature
Hmm.
and books,
In
just
languages
all
I don't
different
speak.
languages. Yeah, you started reading the Quran one night,
Yeah,
and I didn't even know you read the Quran.
I
I didn't even
don't.
know you had a Quran, but you woke
Well,
up in the middle of the night
it was one
and
of
you
those
took a Quran
hotels.
out of your backpack
Yeah,
and you just started reading the Quran. And I was like, wow,
yeah,
we
I
could
did.
really profit off of
I
this.
don't really remember that, but um,
Yeah,
I don't even remember packing a Quran, but it was there.
yeah. And I mean, thank God it was. I mean, if you hadn't brought it, we wouldn't have made a lot of money. That's for sure.
That is for sure.
Um, so I mean, there is still some sludge when it comes to your night terrors.
It's more of a
Uh,
drool, you know.
yeah, it seeps out of your hair
Hmm.
more so rather than your pores and your mouth and your nose and ears and all that.
And mine is
Um,
notably a lot harder to clean up. Like that,
yeah, yeah,
it does not do the weird weightless solidifying chemical reaction that yours does.
I honestly think my mind solidifies when it's exposed to oxygen. And since you sleep in an enclosed bubble of just
In my pod.
yeah, of just nitrogen and no oxygen and carbon dioxide and all that, I think that's why yours doesn't solidify. It's because it's not exposed to,
That would make
oxygen.
sense. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I'd be willing to try, but I really, I just don't sleep as well when I'm not in the pod.
I mean, we know what happens when you don't sleep in the
Yeah,
pod, and
the
it's
the
not
night
it's not
terrors
pretty.
outside of the pod are like, I mean, the night terrors inside of the pod are nothing compared to what
Yeah.
happens when I'm.
It's like it's like you're some sort of beast. You
Yes,
get turned into some sort of beast, and you speak exclusively in Russian. You're like
hmm
a Russian beast.
I get activated
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I start
Your limbs
rampaging.
stretch. Your limbs like stretch,
hmm
and your skin you just turn into like a different color. Even like your whole body, head to toe, is just gray, and you kind of just hit the town. You
Yeah,
just kind of just climb buildings, and you say one thing. You go around the town saying "Yip year,"
and that's Russian.
and that's Russian. I can't translate that. I don't know what that
You just
means.
kind of assume. Yeah, that mean that checks out. I mean, I've seen the security footage of nights prior, but oh my God, that when I wake up, I it's like every thought I've ever had is gone, and all I am is right now and right
Hmm.
here. And I go to these meetings, and it's like the focus of a lifetime.
And that's a beautiful thing. Being able to be so completely clear headed that you're just focused on right now
Yeah.
rather than the past or the future or any other thoughts that are happening simultaneously. You're just so focused on the world as it's happening.
hmm And 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 you know, this hasn't happened yet, but one of these days it will, and it's gonna happen where both of us have these night terrors simultaneously.
Hmm.
And it
Yeah.
is kind of, when I get those bad ones where I'm turning gray and climbing buildings, it's like, thank God the big man of Seth Teeth is there, because with his
Yeah.
supplements, because you're pretty much the only thing that can contain me at this point,
Yeah.
and I'm the only one who can contain you in your black sludge. But if
we
both
we
of
kind of
us,
cancel each other out.
yeah,
Like me, consciously awake can cancel you
hmm
saying Yipir and climbing buildings and speaking in Russian, and you when I'm having a night terror and oozing black sludge all over the place and solidifying and all that. You calm me down and you
yeah,
wake me up, and yeah, you have your fire extinguisher at the ready, never because you never know what's going to happen. So
yeah. I always have my fire extinguisher and my Quran in my bag.
yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about friendship, really, is that you just help each other out. You sort of profit off of each other,
Well,
and
friendship is a heavy term, but continue.
well, that's what business partners are about.
Yes.
We help each other out. We calm each other down when we're both having night terrors.
hmm
You cradled me one night.
Yeah, yeah. I think.
It was a particularly disturbing night terror that I was having. I was oozing more black sludge than usual, and it just wouldn't stop for hours on end. And so, as a last resort, you hugged me.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like a. I was trying to. I wouldn't call it like a cradle. It was more like a shaking to get you. That's what I was trying to do, at least. Maybe it came off as something else, but I mean, you've had your fair share of well, dare I say, affectionate tryings of snapping me out of it. I mean, climbing a building when you're not conscious is hard.
That's no easy feat.
But
It's true.
you're always there. You're always you kind of you just make sure that you basically are spotting me the whole time
Yeah,
and basically whispering in my ear, "You can do it. You can do it. You can get to the top."
I make sure that you. It's not. It's more so I care for you rather than I make sure that you're not hurting other people.
But you are
Um,
like clinging to my back and
yeah,
basically
yeah,
riding me up the buildings.
and I'm like in for a size comparison with the supplements that I'm taking, I'm around like 9 feet tall.
Mm.
But with you, when you're in your activated state, you're more like 30 feet long, and your arms like 15 feet long each,
Yeah.
and you have forearms. So you're monumental compared to me, and I'm monumental compared to the average human. So it's more so I'm just like a tiny speck climbing the smooth, slimy back of the Russian beast.
Yeah. Um.
And of course, I have to motivate you so you
Mhm.
can get to the
Mhm.
top, and I can, we can remain safely away from, any watchers or anybody that might be, not truly understanding of what night terrors really are.
The point is, watch a scary movie, take 4 melatonin, drink
Hmm.
a drink a bottle of whiskey before bed,
Have a shot of Benadryl.
and make sure you're around oxygen. And oh my
Yeah.
God, the morning after will be like the best of your life.
And if you wake up surrounded by a mysterious substance that kind of just occupies a lot of space, whether that be black or gray or just clear, um, just expose it to oxygen, and it'll solidify,
It'll
and
take
it'll
care of
be,
itself.
yeah, it returns to the earth,
Yeah.
if you will.
Waiting for the next night.
Yeah. So moral of the story, family is all about competition, really. And you can't let other families beat you. There's a point system, and you have to have the most points. So just keep track of your points, and when you get to the pearly gates, whoever has the most points wins. So
That's
just keep
right.
that in mind.
Well, this has been Collateral. I'm Wyatt Matthews.
And I'm Seth Teeth. Dream well, everyone.